Hi everyone, welcome to our spring with a little bit of Easter house tour. Come on in. Hi everyone, welcome back or welcome to another episode of Life with Marion and Joe. And in today's episode, we're going to take a little tour of our spring refresh with a little touch of Easter. So for those of you who know me, you know I usually go way overboard when it comes to decorating for the holidays, the fall, Christmas especially, Easter and so on. But this year I parted way down because I had so many other projects going on. Plus we had some new furniture and I had some other little furniture pieces that I wanted to fix up. So I didn't want to go overboard with Easter. So hope you enjoy the little house tour I'm going to take you on right now on what I've done in refreshing for spring. And if you're watching this when you should be watching this, it's the first day of spring. Hooray! It's finally here. So enjoy, sit back and enjoy. And like always, remember, let me know what you think. I like reading your comments. Be nice, please. And also, a thumbs up is greatly appreciated. Okay, everybody, so let's get into the tour right now. First off, please excuse the way I look. I had a really busy day today and I wanted to get this video in and I didn't have time to get changed and all that other doodad, but you know that I'm natural with you guys and it is what it is. So let's get into it. So here we are in the entrance foyer, and when people come in through the door, our guests for this time of the year, this is what they're greeted with. Now this is a table that I refinished, and these are two chairs that belong to my grandmother's kitchen set from the 1940s. And what I did is they were sitting in the shop and I thought, hey, you know what? I would love to look at them. It makes me think of my grandmother. I painted them black to coordinate with the table, and then I recovered them with this fabric. I'll give you a close-up of it in a second. It's Parisian inspired, and it has all the colors that are going on in the foyer. And for Easter, I created this iconic Easter basket. It has a ceramic bunny in it, some eggs that light up. They're on a string of lights, as well as some beautiful florals and this cascading pig to give it a very elegant, welcome feeling. So let's take a close-up of that. I wanted to bring a little bit of the springtime color to the top of the steps. So what I did was I created a floral piece up at the turn of the steps. Let's go take a look at it. So here I used celery greens, hydrangeas, and some daisy looking kind of flowers, and these spiky flowers and these cascading flowers, and I added some picks in the top and some ivy as well to just try to give it a fresh look of spring. So I love repurposing and reusing things, and if you notice, it's on this pedestal right here, but right here, what I've done is this is a marble piece and it has a gold trim on it. And actually this was a lamp that belonged to my parents. There was a part on the bottom and then a base, and then the lamp part on the top, and then of course where the lampshade is. So I took the whole lamp apart because we weren't using it. It really didn't go anywhere where we wanted it to go, and it was sitting in the attic for about 20 years. So I said, hey, let me take it apart and use it in different pieces. So here I use that marble top and here and this beautiful arrangement that welcomes spring. Let's take a look in the music room and see what I've done in here. So we got this beautiful baby grand piano just about a year ago now, and since it has come into this room, it has brought new life into the room. Before, this was called the formal living room, and to be honest with you, I didn't come in here much at all, neither did Marianne. Once in a blue moon, I would over decorate in this room for every holiday because we never really came in this room. But since the piano moved into this room, I'm in here every day. If it's not for practicing the piano, it's for sitting here relaxing, and I kind of use this as my dream room where I think up things, and I have my notebook with me and I write down stuff that I want to do, or that I want to do outside of the house or anywhere, but it allows me to relax and be calm and do that. So let's take a look around this room. So I've been greatly inspired by the decor style called academia, and there is dark academia and light academia, and I guess this is somewhere in between, more towards the light. I love the dark academia, but you know, there the rooms are painted black or navy blue or green or plum, and I just couldn't do that because we live here in the Northeast and it's very dark and dingy all winter long, and I think that would make me very, very depressed. So the part of the academia that I like is the artsy side and the books and so on. So the whole idea is to make it look like an artist's room or a professor's room or a library. And I started here. I moved the bar into this room right here, and what I've done was I put a variety of things on this bar. I have a book right there, and then on the book I have this lamp which belonged to my parents. She was much more gold. I toned her down. I used black paint and then I brushed over with gold paint on her. I changed out the crystals and the shade. And again, this was another piece that was sitting in the attic for a very long time. And now she's out here and she reminds me of when I was a kid because I remember exactly where she was in our apartment. As well on here, what I did was I added some of these decanters and actually that bottle of liquor because I like the coloring. It went with the room. And then the Demitas glasses or the shot glasses right there actually with the gold rim, more books, and then that urn with the beautiful rope on it. And then I have this urn right here with the iconic forsythia, which when that opens, you know spring has arrived. And I also added in some branches with tiny little buds to look like spring is just about to bloom. This is a painting that I created, and what I did was I wanted it to look like it was in the process of being done, which it actually was until I decided I'm going to use it as is. I started by decoupaging musical sheets on it, and then I drew in the cello and I began painting the cello, and it was supposed to have a girl behind it playing the cello, and you can see where I began to pencil her in. So it kind of looks like it is a work in progress in this artistic room. So you see, I really didn't go overboard with a Easter look or a spring look in here because I actually just recreated this room again with this academia style, or the beginner's guide to academia, I should say. I have the books on the mantle, some sketches I made of instruments. I have horns as bookends and so on. And then the leather chairs, which again is iconic in an academia room. Now here is the touch of Easter that I put in this room. Here I created these eggs a couple of years ago, and look how well they coordinate with the purple with the chairs that I just showed you in the foyer, which is right outside this room, and then the black and the gold, which is present in the rug and other pieces in the room, and then a little bit of glitz because there are some crystals in this room. The marble table, which was at the top of the steps, belonged to this lamp. This was the top and the bottom of that lamp post. I took it apart and I made these 2 candle holders, which I've placed up here on top of this curio cabinet, as well as this large brandy sniffer with some more eggs in it. Now in here we have some sentimental pieces, a picture from my grandmother that she brought from Italy, these hand-carved figurines with musical instruments in them, and then we even have this guitar right here that a friend stopped over, and when she saw the music room, she said, "I have something for you. I'm going to bring you a guitar." So, of course, I took it, and I was very thankful for it. It goes absolutely perfect in our music room. So the dining room is the room that I went a little bit overboard with the Easter stuff, and I didn't want to make it too whimsical, but I have mostly whimsical stuff. So I think when I made the video, I called it Whimsical Elegance because I tried to combine the two of those things together. This whole room is actually based on the centerpiece, which I'll give you a close-up of. It's an FAO Schwartz piece, which I found in TJ Maxx. It's so cute. It's a mama bunny and two bunnies with umbrellas, and I built this whole tablescape around it. And just so you know, this is kind of like a fantasy tablescape. We would not really use this to eat because we fill the table with food and there would be no room for any of this stuff. So knowing we weren't going to have any guests, I was able to create this and I didn't have to, move it at all. So let's take a close-up look at what's on the table. So I try to do everything on a budget, and I put these placemats down, which I found in the dollar zone. And I used this china because it had the pink and the lilac and the black and the white on it. This I created. What this actually is this is a tea light from the dollar store and one of those plastic eggs. And I just painted it out so that it looked like a tulip with leaves on it. And then I added these little pieces of paper to make it look like the tulip was blooming. And I put that on this little bread dish right over here. These carrots are actually made from newspaper, which is scrunched up, and then with masking tape, I made the shape of the carrot, and then I wound orange yarn around the whole thing, and I placed one of these on each one of the settings to give it a whimsical look. These are eggs that I created to try to make them look like they were ceramic. They're also plastic eggs, and what I did was I cut little flowers off from a flower pick from the dollar store, and I put it on here and I painted everything over with spackling paste so that it got nice and hard and it looked like glass, and then I painted it out to make it look, like it was a ceramic piece. They're sitting on two tree logs, which are actually made from PVC pipes. The centerpiece, I wanted to create a garden look, so what I did was I have a box right there with some carrots looking like they're popping out of the ground. And then here is that piece that's made by FAO Schwartz. Look how cute that is, and with their umbrellas. And what I did was I did a flower garden around the outside, but here's the special part. This is the over-the-top part. I made the crystals look like they're raining down on top of the rabbits. Down here on the sidebar, I just wanted something very simple and to the point, so I took this platter and with regular old acrylic paint, I painted out this tulip and this whimsical design, and I did not polyurethane it because when I get tired of it, all I have to do is take a sponge and some soap and bam, it is gone. And on each side, I have candle holders, which I painted green to mimic plants growing out of the ground. And then where the candle sits, I painted that lilac to make it look like the flower. And then I took these are old-fashioned, they were battery-powered, not the flickering kind. And they were an ugly color white, and I painted them out with the lilac as well. I think my favorite thing I did for Easter this year in decorating is the china closet here, which I made this asymmetrical garland using tulips and pinks and cascading flowers. And I just, I like that look, and I, topped it all off with the purple mini lights. Up on top, we have some more of those candle holders with some more terracotta pots and a birdhouse that I built. And it is, you can't see it from here, but it is hand painted. Let me see if I can get a close up of it. And there it is. It's made from scrap wood, and I'm particularly proud of the roof that I made from little pieces of cardboard, and I painted the whole thing out, and I just think it looks absolutely appropriate for the season. I put this beautiful pot right here that Marianne bought me a few years ago. It's a beautiful color green, and it coordinates well with the pedestal that it's on. And then are those pink and lilac flowers. And this holds a special surprise because the inside is hand painted as well. As we swing around, you're seeing the back side of my bay window right here, which has an accumulation of rabbits in there, and they're hanging out with eggs dripping down and carrots and so on. It looks really festive from outside. And over here, I just have this over-the-top bird's nest with this paper mache bird sitting on a lot of eggs. Wow, those are a lot of eggs to sit on. But the colors all coordinate with what's going on in this room. So let's take a look at what I did in the family room. So starting right here on the sofa table, you know, for those of you that know me, you know I would have normally had this loaded with stuff all over the place. But I created this vignette and I wanted it to take a center stage. This is a vignette that I did in honor of my duck when I was a kid. My parents bought us a duck. Fluffy was his name. And you know, I always think of Fluffy around Easter time, and I wanted to create something in honor of Fluffy, although this wouldn't, he was a male, this is a female because there's eggs involved, but you know, you get the idea. So what I did was I took this bowl here, which is kind of like a fish bowl kind of a look, and I created a land mass over here, and then I used little marbles that I got in the Dollar Tree. They're kind of like a greenish blue to mimic the water. I put some rocks in there. I made a little nest with some eggs, the duck, and some greenery. Okay, let me show you a close-up of that. Okay, so I've been busy in this room because we got new furniture in here. So I was on the hunt, which took a little bit of time to find a rug that we liked, and then Marian and I actually stumbled upon this furniture. We were out shopping one day and we were like, that looks like it might fit. And I always have my tape measure with me and the measurements, and we measured everything out, and then we figured it out, and we were lucky because they had one left in stock. Otherwise we would have had to wait for who knows how long. So we got this new furniture. It's maybe just a couple of weeks right now. We're still kind of settling into it. You know, whenever there's a change, you know, you have to get adjusted to everything. But what I did here was I tried to incorporate the idea of the spring look that I wanted. And I wanted to use a lot of green, not a dark green, like this lighter celery color green. And what I have here on the couch is I use these pillows right here, which have a lime green and a pewter design on them because the couch is pewter. And then we have another pillow here that Marianne bought just haphazardly last year. She got two of them. They have birds on them with branches. I'll show you in a second, a close-up right here. And I put this throw on the ottoman, which we had this lime green throw, and so that we can put, you know, our remotes in there and a little bit of greenery just to bring some life into the room. And and it's easily picked up when we're relaxing and we want to put our feet up. All right, let me give you a close-up of that. So look how great that pillow is. She found two of them, and it just had the right coloring. It's just weird that she found that, and then the beige pillow. This is a C-shaped table that I never saw before in my life because I never really took notice of it. And what's great about it is that it just hugs the couch. So when Marianne is doing work, you know, sometimes she does work on her laptop while we're watching television, or sometimes she has her coffee with her, or water or something, and she wants to have someplace to put it down. That is the perfect table for that. And we got that one in IKEA, actually. Then here we have this great urn, which comes from Colombia, and I wanted some life on here, so I put a little bit of greenery in it. Okay, so we also got these two chairs right here. These are club chairs, And they're very versatile. Right now I have them set up as if we were having, a conversation area right here. So everybody is facing each other and not so far from each other. But they're so lightweight and versatile, they can be, used many ways. For example, they can be pushed one over there and one over here, also facing in. They can be turned so they can look at the TV. That's the TV with a screensaver on it right now. And even they could be pushed all the way back over there if I so desire. So those are also, they're a little bit deeper pewter, but they have a lot of brown tones in them, which I picked up in this rug that we got in Costco. I changed out the artwork on this wall because I wanted it to look springy. So we have this painting right here with all the colors, the pewter, the green, the sage, and the birds, and then the sconce, which also has a sage coloring with the gold. These are two yard gates, which I got in Home Depot, cut off the picks on the bottom, painted them green and hung them on the wall. And we have some paintings down there which come from Mary Ann's cousin who passed away, and we inherited those, and they're of gardens, and there's one over there of Adam, the Sistine Chapel, and we love him. And on the other side of the family room, we have this wall unit, which used to house our TV. And, once we went to the flat screen, I got rid of this piece, but I decided to move it back in again because it is a great display area. I took the middle piece and I created more shelves where the television used to go in, a big opening in the middle, right in the middle, and I created more shelves. And what we have on here is a variety of pieces that are meaningful to us. Some pieces my father gave me, some pieces Mary Ann's mother gave us, some things come from friends, some things come from other family members and from Europe, and there's a picture that I sketched in there, something from my mother, so there's a variety of things which is nice to have in the room because you can look at something, you know how your mind wanders when you're watching TV, and you can look over here and see something, and I can remember when and how we got that particular piece. Okay, so usually I go cuckoo crazy on the mantles, decorating for the holidays, but I made a conscious decision this year not to do anything on the mantle for this time of the year. I wanted it clear, I wanted it light, and I wanted it airy. So I kept it blank. And I think with the accessories that are around it, it just feels right. It doesn't feel bare and it doesn't feel empty. It's just feeling right for us right now. Isn't that a great screensaver with the books and the greenish color frame and the rabbit sitting there? I'm so happy when I found that. Okay, and next we're going to take a look into the library. Okay, so the library is a place that decor style I try to coordinate with the family room as much as possible because the family room, the library, and the kitchen are kind of all opened up to one another. Now, this wasn't originally here, this arch. What happened was there was a wall all the way out to here, and there was just a door that led into this room, and we used to call this the sunroom. But when, after Superstorm Sandy, when we had the whole bottom of the house had to be redone, we decided to open up this and create this arch because we have a lot of arches in the house. This house was built in the late 90s, and the palladium windows, those round top windows, were very popular right at that moment. So we have a very big palladium window in the foyer, and then here and there around the house we have windows with arches on them. So we thought that this was a very appropriate arch, as well as we created one coming into the family room. We opened up that entrance and we put an arch over that as well. So anyway, let's take a look at what's going on here in the library. All right, so let's start over here on the side. So This piece of furniture actually comes from Marianne's mother and father's beach house down the shore. It was in her brother's room, and after Sandy, when we lost all of our furniture, we were actually, scrambling to find pieces to fill up the rooms and fill up the house. And this was one of the pieces that we took from there. I painted it out, that same French country white that our kitchen cabinets and that the wall unit I just showed you, I did the same thing. And I used a stencil down the side with a mustard color paint that is also found in the kitchen cabinets. So I wanted them to coordinate it. So I just gave it a little bit of an update. I changed out the hardware and so on. So that's a sentimental piece right now. Up here, this is a sentimental piece because this was given to my father. My father was a policeman, but it reminds me of me looking up at him, which I always thought he was a Superman. And I love looking at that because it reminds me of what a great father he was. This piece right here is a light fixture that a student had given me. She didn't want it anymore in her apartment, and she said maybe I could use it and do something with it. So I cleared it out and I created this kind of lantern look. And right now, a lamp that two friends gave us is sitting inside that lantern. So here on the love seat, which again, this is another place that I like sitting and relaxing and reading and whatnot. It's just a very relaxing place. There's another one of those pillows that Marianne found in Costco that is on the sectional in the family room. So it coordinates and brings that over. This is a blanket that my grandmother crocheted, and it's just the right color for me for spring. It looks a little bit more yellow in the video than it does in person. That crocheted blanket has to be at least 60 years old, and it is in absolutely marvelous shape because we've been keeping it under wraps. This table right here is actually from my mother and father's first living room set when they got married. And they got married in 1948, I think. Not 1947. I think 1948. And so that is another antique table. Now, the chair that's sitting right next to it was given to me by a friend at the gym who passed away. He gave it to me before he passed away. And he also gave me that book right there, that Harry Potter book. And I have it opened up right next to that chair. And it's, again, another sentimental piece. This piece we just stumbled on in a garage sale. And again, it's that same coloring, and it just fits in perfectly in this room right now. I chose to use an ottoman here as a coffee table, and it was on the floor. I added little legs, those little bunt legs on it. I put on these two glass tops right here, and I just have some books and some terracotta pots and a plate with a garden scene on it. And notice I tried to use green colored books up on the top. So this piece right here, I actually built from cabinets which come from my mother and father's beach house, which was also devastated by Sandy, and we had to gut that whole thing. So I had a couple of upper cabinets that were left over, so I decided to make this little unit right here. A friend gave us that little stove there, so I built the whole thing around it using those cabinets. And again, this is the library, so I put a bunch of books in here. I tried to coordinate them by name and somewhat by color, and there's some of our pictures in there, and there's more books. And here's another touch of Easter, so I've been neglecting that. This is a little sculpture that I made of eggs, and it looks like tulips are hatching out of them. If Marianne was here, she'd be telling you the story of those shutters. Those were in the garage down the shore, and I was going to throw them out, and she kept saying, don't throw them out, don't throw them out, don't throw them out. And then all of a sudden one day I said, hey, I think I'm going to paint them and stencil on them. And then she was like, see, I told you. So those are two shutters that used to be at the shore house. So in the kitchen, I really kept it simple. I just have these bird houses right here. on this 3-tiered shelf. Another one of those eggs that I created using the tea light. And Willa, the bunny, which she always pops up someplace different every year. And this year she's in the kitchen. Up on the mantle of the stove, I just put this Happy Easter sign with some branches from the yard that I painted sage green, and I hot glued some leaves, flowers, and eggs on them. For those of you who know me, have you ever seen that so simple for a holiday? No, I don't think so. But I like it, and I think it's appropriate for the style I went this year. Okay, everybody, thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed my little spring refresh with a little touch of Easter as well. Hope everybody's doing well. You take care, and I will be seeing you really soon. Bye-bye.